Hey everybody, it's Bruno and MB, episode number 2 with Angela Archer from National Headhunters in the center of the universe, Toronto. One of my favorites. Angelina, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
I apologize for anybody who watches this video and then subsequently calls you and says, can I speak to Angelina Bambolina? It just comes out.
I'm okay with that as long as they're clients looking for headhunters.
All right. Call me whatever you want as long as you pay the fee. So and you know what? We were talking, like, we had a good conversation about professional recruiting, what it is, what it isn't. This one here, we have a little thumbnail. It says, what not to expect from a recruiter. So let's start off with that, and then we're going to have a little fun later on because we always have fun. But what can you not expect from us? Like, don't call us if you asking this. I mean, obviously, you know, call us, chit chat with us, update us, but what can we not really help them with?
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I get quite often. Resume writing. I get a lot of people asking me if I can review and rewrite their resumes. I'm not a professional resume writer. Most headhunters aren't. There's services that you can engage for that, but typically it's not your headhunter or recruiter. Another thing I would say is calling me, Angela, I don't know what to do. What should I do with my career? I don't know. I'm not your therapist. You know, I'll try to help out. Well, you know, a quick little conversation, but we're not career coaches. We're here to help our clients and help you find the best possible match, you know, for your skill set at hand. You know, we're not in the business of getting you a promotion or, you know, helping you through your mid-career life crisis.
Yeah, we don't put band-aids on situations, right?
You tried.
No, but at the same time, I think you're dead on. I agree with you. We're not your career coach. Like, there's career coaches, and people say, what do you think of this career coach? What do you think? I don't even have time to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know if it shows. I've been holding it in for like 12 days. Like, I just don't have time, right? I don't know about you, but I just don't have time to even search out career coaches, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I know a few and I think they're okay, I guess, and start with that. The resume writing, you're dead on. I'm a professional resume reader.
Yeah.
I
Scanner.
even you're right. I scan it up, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you talked about this too. We talked about it, about how quick we have to go through profiled resumes. There's one thing I would maybe add or ask you if this is relevant, is that I know some candidates call us and they say, you know, the interview, I didn't get the job, or it never happens when they get the job. But when they don't get the job and say, you know, I'd like to set up a time for coaching on what I did or didn't do well on there. And there was this like movement. It doesn't happen as much, but there was this movement, and I don't know if you remember it, but it's like, you know, like, I mean, I spent my time in the interview and you kind of wasted my time, and I think you kind of owe it to me to give me feedback.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't get the
Yes.
job.
Yes. Yes. I've seen a lot of that. I find, you know, yes, there's a certain demographic of people that are looking for that. They feel it like that's an entitlement that they've spent that time. And I understand you want to better yourself, you want to, but sometimes clients are just as busy as we are and they don't have time to give you, you know, detailed feedback on everything. They felt that you weren't a fit. And sometimes we have to be happy with that. Yeah, another thing, just to go off, we can't coach you for your interview. You know, we're not setting you up for success or us up for success. You know, you need to go in and be your authentic self and interview the way that you need to interview. We can give you a couple little tidbits or whatever, but I can't sit here and run through lines with you about how to answer questions, and that, you know, go study, go learn, read about the company, do that, and be yourself in the interview is what I would say with that.
I'm going to even throw it out even more because, you know, I got really nothing to lose because this is like post-mortem for me in my career. But I'd be very careful if I was a candidate and my recruiter says, let's have a coaching session on how to go through the interview. I'm not saying that's good or bad. Coaching is about behavior, right? So I'd be very careful in understanding, what are you trying to coach me? Coach me to get the job. That to me is equivalent. I'm kind of a weird dude. I prefer the word unique. You know that, Ange, right? But I'm a weird dude because I think weirdly in this business. But that's the equivalent of saying, you know what? All it's like Cyrano de Bergerac. Remember that show? Like, it's not the person talking. I'm speaking for the person. I
Yeah.
can teach pretty much, and I think you can teach anybody how to get that job. Like, and people say, no, you can't. Remember we do our technical interviewing, and I answer those questions as if I'm a developer, an accountant, and we know how to answer those technical questions with a little bit of research. But
Yeah.
will the marriage work? That's the problem. So if a
Yes.
recruiter coaches you up to get the job because you're desperate, I'd be careful about that, because maybe you'll win the job, but will you be happily married? Well, am I making any sense?
100% making sense. You've got to go in and, like I said, you need to be your authentic self, and you need to make sure that that union between yourself and the company is the right one. Because if it's off, then you're just going to waste your time, their time, and if you're working with a recruiter or a headhunter, you're going to waste their time as well, and it doesn't work. I strongly believe there's a pot to every lid. There is a job out there for
Nice.
you. It's just it may not be this one or the one that I'm working on, but somebody or somewhere out there, there is that job for you. And you just got to be yourself to get it.
So National Headhunters, you built it, you created it.
Yes.
What,
Yes.
what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, we're a full service recruitment, boutique recruitment firm. I've been headhunting, years and years ago. I did kind of frontline recruitment staffing, did that for a lot of years, really fun, worked in hospitality, moved out, moved into headhunting. And and God bless everybody, yourself included, that I've worked with. I just have my own way of doing things. And it's not that I think that I'm better or whatever. I like to do things my way, and I like things to go the way that I see things. So I was better to be at the helm. And I know
Yeah,
that about myself.
and I think I would be. I'm just taking notes here. Here we go. I always take notes. I'm going to call you up on it later. But when you say
No.
you do it your way, I think one of the things that I've noticed is when people say they do it their way and this and that and the other thing, I think you're referring to your style. I think you have a really
Yes.
unique style. We can't be for everybody, but I do know that and I'm not just shamelessly plugging you or your company, but I very rarely have met somebody in our profession that really cares about both sides like you do. And I think you're probably use foresight a little bit by saying that candidate's going to be my client. I don't think you use trickery, but I'm very similar that way. And I really appreciate how you brought that up. I said, this candidate's going to be my client's going to be my candidate. And you kind of treat everybody the same. I think that's what you're talking about, because recruiting's recruiting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not everybody can do it well, but recruiting is recruiting. I think there's a difference between recruiting and headhunting. Like, I find
Yeah.
there is, and then there's also a difference between, and this is probably segment 3, but talent acquisition, recruiting, headhunting. Like, I think they're 3 silos that roll up into one end result. But yeah, recruiting is recruiting, and I do care about the candidate. Like, to me, and you always want to help everybody. When someone calls you, I need a job, you want to help them, but sometimes you can't always. You can
Yeah.
maybe pass them along to somebody, but at the end of the day, your client is the one who pays you. So you have everybody's best interests at heart, but you've really got to listen to your client and what they want and what they need. Just because you like somebody doesn't mean that they're going to fit into that. It's not, that's not what we're paid to do.
Yeah, one of the things I strongly recommend to a lot of recruiters, because when you first get into it, if you have a good heart, and you probably fell into this too, is that you want to help everybody. But the best way I've been able to help over the years, when it doesn't fall into my business vertical, is saying, I can't help you on this one. Like, seek out somebody else. And here are the 3 recruiters that I know deal in pet grooming. I don't know how to do that, right? I have no clients in there, right? So, okay, you ready? This is going to be the fun part. And I know
Yeah.
you know the answers to this, but a lot of people like to do business with people they know. So let's dismiss all the myths about Angela Archer at National Headhunters and get to know you and only you. Ready?
Okay.
Deep breath. Okay, rapid fire. You got like 1 second to answer these questions. Favorite food? I think I know this one. Can I guess?
Yes.
Pizza?
Fail.
Oh,
Fail.
okay. You just
Sushi.
make pizza.
Sushi, crab, and oysters.
Oh,
Can't pick
okay.
between the three.
Okay, yeah. I guessed wrong, only because
Yeah. Yeah, the pizza shop. Yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. So favorite restaurant doesn't have to be here or in Toronto or Canada.
Favorite restaurant. I don't even know the name of it, but I went to this restaurant in Greece. It was in Santorini. It was like a white on the side of the overlooking the ocean. I don't know. I had the best Greek salad of my life while enjoying the seascape. So that would be my favorite restaurant in memory.
All right. So even if I Google map it, I can't find it. So that's good.
You could. The donkey trail is right beside it. So you'd probably find it.
Okay. All right. Favorite movie?
Beaches.
Really? Okay. Favorite actor, man or woman?
Oh man, I don't have one. I like all of them.
All of
I
them?
can't pick one. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a favorite actor.
Okay.
No.
Favorite band?
Foo Fighters.
Really? Favorite song?
My favorite song. Oh goodness. You Are My Sunshine. I sing it to my daughter every day.
Oh, I love that song. That's so good. Does she know the words?
She sings it every night with me when we go to sleep.
Oh my God. That's a cool song. That's a really, really cool song. Okay. Of all the places you've traveled to, and I know you've traveled quite a bit, favorite place you've been to?
Bocas del Toro. So Bocas del
Oh,
Toro
okay.
was just off Panama. I used to live in Costa Rica and you'd have to leave every 72 days. So back when this was it was kind of wasn't quite as built up as it was. You took a little puddle hopper plane to get to there, and then you walk down this path and you get on this little boat and you go across the lagoon to little huts on the water. So you literally sit on the water and the floorboards, you could see the water between the floorboards and see the fish and aqua life swimming through. So that's my favorite place.
How long did you have to stay, leave? Like every 72 days and then
90 days for 72 hours.
90 days for 72 hours. So you'd have to hang out there for 72 hours.
Yeah, I would come back and forth because I had my business. So I didn't always have to go to Panama. I went to the north part. I went to a bunch of different places.
So you didn't
Panama,
have to you didn't have to come back to Canada or the US. You need
No.
to just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Favorite not favorite place, the place you haven't been to yet but want to go. Dream of going.
So a couple of things. I really want to do like an African safari. I'd like to do one of those outback tours, and then I want to do a trans-Pacific cruise. So you go to like you start in Australia and you go to like Tahiti and Bora Bora and a few other islands and end up in Hawaii. So I'd like to do that.
So I'm just doing this. I'm just looking at my phone. I'm trying to figure out how many deals you need to close to do those 2 trips. So
Many more. I need more clients, so bring it in.
yeah, well, you're pretty close.
Yeah.
But okay, so the next question I have is, who would you like to meet that is now alive? Like it's still alive?
This is such a controversial subject, but I'd love to meet Donald Trump.
Oh, really? Why?
I think, and this is political, but he's a really kind human and he doesn't get portrayed as that. Like he does a lot of stuff that people don't really know about, and he's he's done a lot of great things, mired down by his awful social media presence. But I think he'd be interesting to sit and have dinner with and just talk to him about his thoughts.
So what would you ask him?
What would I ask him?
Thanks for being really courageous, and I'll tell you why. Again, you always have to say, it's not political. I don't even give a shit. Like, we can't even vote in the US because I'm not American. So it's not a reflection on the right or the left. But I'm going to tell you something. Even if you were American, and there are a lot of people like millions of people that before he became president would have answered that question the way you did. And since he's gone president, you can't even say, oh, I'd like to meet Donald Trump. When he was like running, remember The Apprentice? Everybody thought he was like, you know, cooler than Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
Yeah.
like the coolest guy. And all of a sudden he became president. And you know what I mean? But what would be like the first question you would ask Donald? 'Cause I know how he would answer.
Well, what would I ask him? I would ask him, with everything that he's going through in the media and they're destroying his family, and why is he keep doing it? Like the drive and the grit that this man has is incredible. Like why, like he doesn't need to do this.
Yeah.
So why?
So
I
I
know the
think his
answer.
answer would be the reason I'm doing it is because it's huge, huge, just huge.
Yeah,
So
the world needs it.
yeah, the world needs it.
Well,
Yeah.
look at what's happening. Yeah.
Listen, you know what? Whatever you feel about it, these people right now, unfortunately, sometimes give us way too much entertainment and not enough substance. I don't know why they do it, but that's really good. So somebody that is not alive, someday, not someday, but you would like to meet and talk to.
To meet? Well, I mean, I've met this person, but I would love to talk to my grandmother again.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah, I was little when she died, and just like I have such fond little snippets of memory, so I'd love to just know who she is as a person, or was as a person.
Did you look like her?
Not so much, I don't think. But she was like, everything I remember is like just kind and warm, and so I would like to just know who she was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you have a nickname other than the 3,000 that I've given you?
Everybody like in my circle calls me Archer or Arch.
Archie. Somebody
Yeah.
called you Archie, remember?
I don't know if someone called me Archie, but a little story is if I ever had a boy, that was going to be his name was Archer or Archie. So that was.
Well, did you work with somebody and he would call you Archie all the time? Hey, Archie. You told me the story. I can't remember.
Did I don't. Yeah, I mean, I get called Arch or Archer all
Arch.
the time. Archie, I don't know. I can't think of that story, but I forget stuff a
So,
lot.
do you have a favorite superhero?
I mean, who like strong, powerful woman, like Wonder Woman's amazing, but when I was a little kid, it was She-Ra. Like,
So that's kind of like your alter ego, right?
yeah.
So,
I guess so.
Ange, this probably won't be the last time you get the opportunity to do this, but you get to ask me one question
Just
before we go.
one?
Well, just
Oh
like for
man.
today.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what can I ask you?
And
Oh,
if ever
no.
somebody thought we rehearsed these, we don't.
No,
This kind of caught you off guard that I was doing this.
Yeah, I was nervous. Um, what makes you really happy in your life? Like what brings you that sincere joy?
I think energy,
Yeah.
right? Like I love being around. I didn't figure this out till about 5, 6 years ago, is that if I'm not around authentically positive people, not bullshitting pieces of garbage who pretend they're all that in a bag of chips and don't pay bills in business. And I'm very, very pro pay your bills, don't be a scumbag attitude. And it's gotten to the point which I don't want to be vulgar, but if you're asking me honestly, this is our show. I like to be around, and I'm not trying to shamelessly promote you, but I really enjoy talking to you. You work really, really hard. You started a company. You never ever utter the words, I'm going to slide this candidate in to make a few bucks. But you know what? I think we take that for granted, and I'm trying my best to be around people that authentically want to reciprocate on energy, positive energy, make the world better. I don't know, just have some fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like I joke around about my rock band. I joke around about my interviews. I joke around about a lot of stuff, but I can't, I've cut out a lot of stuff out of my diet. And that's what brings me joy is like, I just don't want to try to figure people out anymore. And as you know, one of the things that on one of my promotion things, which is true, somebody labeled me, I can't remember the name, professional people expert, and interviewed. And if you do the math, somebody did the math for me. Somebody used to work with me, and they said, I've interviewed over 150,000 people. But that's not really that hard to do because, how many people do we interview, right? So you do it for 300 years like I did in ancient Roman times. And, I interviewed Caesar, right? And he didn't get the job the first time. So all I'm saying is that we always have to figure out if they're bullshitting. And so I'm kind of tired of that. And I know what I know, and I'm okay with my small circle of friends, and I'm okay with it. And if we plus one, I win. So I don't really go seeking out for too many more people in my band. I got enough people in our band, right? And we make good music. So that's what keeps me happy, right? So it's a good question. Did that answer it?
Even when when you leave this realm, your energy goes. It's in the universe. So it's a good answer. Yes.
And I would do another episode with you live in person, via radio transponder, whatever. And I really appreciate your friendship. And if anybody needs anything on the recruiting side, I would highly endorse you. So I don't do that very, very often. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, Ange.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.